Tom Hardy, Empath, Narcissist, or Something Else, Part 4. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. As we continue to analyse the actor Tom Hardy, we now consider his intimate relationships. This invariably provides us with crucial evidence. Do we find the individual is someone who has habitual intimate relationships that overlap with one another? Are there accusations of infidelity, allegations of abuse? Are there instances of short-lived relationships, all of which could point to the presence of a narcissist? Alternatively, is very little known about the intimate relationships of the individual, which could be immense privacy occasioned by a superior narcissist utilizing a particularly polished and effective facade. Is there evidence of stable relationships whereby other parties, either current or in the past, speak well of the individual who is the subject of the Tudorscope? What has the subject themselves said about the relationships? Are there periods of estrangement, breaking up, getting back together again and breaking up? Are there public slanging matches? All of this material provides us with insight to understand what the person may well be. Tom Hardy married producer Sarah Ward in 1999, early in his acting career, before his breakout role in Black Hawk Down in 2001. The marriage lasted for 5 years, ending in divorce in 2004. During this period, Hardy struggled significantly with substance abuse, including alcohol and crack cocaine, which began in his teens and escalated after the commercial failure of Star Trek Nemesis. Hardy has admitted to being out of control during this time, and his addiction contributed to the breakdown of his marriage. Was this simply the effects of addiction, or was this an individual lacking accountability, lacking emotional empathy, blame-shifting his addiction for the demise of his relationship? Irrespective of the difficulties caused by his addiction, there are no specific allegations of infidelity or abuse tied to Hardy's marriage with Ward. Nevertheless, his substance abuse and erratic behaviour, including blackouts and waking up in unfamiliar places, certainly strained the relationship and led to its dissolution. Hardy has acknowledged causing distress to his family, particularly his parents, due to his addiction, which likely extended to his marriage. Is this a form of accountability, or is it simply facade management when he's asked about it? Hardy was briefly romantically linked to South Korean American actress Linda Park in 2003 during the early stages of his career. The two met while performing in the play Roger and Vanessa at the Latchmere Pub Theatre in London. Their relationship was short-lived, ending in 2004, and appears to have overlapped following the demise of his relationship with Sarah Ward. This romance also occurred during a tumultuous period in Hardy's life, overlapping with the end of his marriage to Sarah Ward and his ongoing struggles with substance abuse. It was reported that the pair had strong on-stage chemistry, and there were rumours they planned to start a theatre company together while living in South London. The fact that they met through work does demonstrate a lack of professional boundaries. It is common for people to meet at work, but that doesn't remove the fact that it is a lack of boundary recognition to start a relationship with somebody that you're working with. The relationship fizzled out quickly, most likely as a consequence of the personal challenges that Hardy was going through. It was clearly a fleeting relationship, and accordingly, might this be indicative of the fact that Hardy quickly moves into another relationship following the demise of his first marriage? Or might this be the case that it's simply driven by his addiction, and that was the driving factor behind his conduct? Hardy then began dating assistant director Rachel Speed in 2005 after meeting on the set of the BBC miniseries The Virgin Queen, where he played Robert Dudley and she worked behind the scenes. Again, a work-based romantic entanglement which demonstrates a lack of boundary recognition. The couple welcomed a son, Louis Thomas Hardy, in 2008. Their relationship lasted for 4 years. At this juncture, there was a period of relative stability for Hardy, who had entered rehab in 2003 and was working to maintain sobriety. Speed, known for her work on films like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, kept a low profile, and the couple maintained a private relationship despite media attention. They appear to have continued to co-parent their son amicably after their separation. Hardy has spoken about fatherhood giving him purpose, suggesting a positive co-parenting dynamic. As you know, it is often the case that co-parenting with a narcissist is one of the most difficult things to address, and either difficulties have been kept quiet as a consequence of facade management, or the fact that there are no co-parenting difficulties between these two individuals support the existence of a healthy relationship, maintaining notwithstanding the fact that they were no longer together. There appears to be no major public controversy in relation to the ending of the relationship, and no specific reasons have been given as a consequence of why it ended, although there is a possibility that it was linked to the start of his relationship with somebody else that I'll come to presently. Hardy was rumoured to have had a brief romantic involvement with screenwriter Kelly Marcel, known for her work on Venom. The exact timing is unclear, but Marcel and Hardy had a professional relationship, again as a consequence of a romantic entanglement through professional circumstances, a lack of boundary recognition. The rumour of a romantic link appears to stem from their close working relationship, although there is no direct confirmation that this was actually the case, and therefore one would only provide limited weight to it, given the lack of confirmation associated with Hardy's relationship with Marcel. Hardy then met actress Charlotte Riley in 2009 on the set of the ITV adaptation of Wuthering Heights. Once again, a romantic involvement as a consequence through work, which appears to have taken place around the time that his relationship with the mother of his child, Rachel Speed, was ending, which could point to potential infidelity, which demonstrates a lack of emotional empathy. Hardy was playing Heathcliff and Riley was playing Cathy. Their on-screen chemistry developed into a real-life romance, leading to an engagement in 2010. A rather swift romance after having met in 2009, which is a hallmark of sense of entitlement. Marriage followed in July 2014 at Château de Rosanne in France. The couple has 2 children, a son born in October 2015 and another son born in December 2018. They have maintained a private family life, keeping their children's names and genders out of the public eye. The relationship between the two of them is described as a strong, enduring partnership, with both actors balancing successful careers and family life. They worked together again in Legend 2015 and shared a commitment to privacy, moving from London to Surrey for a quieter life. This may well denote the presence of emotional empathy with regard to the privacy that they've sought to protect their children. Hardy has credited fatherhood and his relationship with Riley for grounding him, while Riley has praised their shared approach to parenting and household responsibilities. Riley initially found Hardy's intense personality off-putting, particularly when he jokingly channeled his Bronson character during their first meeting, but she grew to appreciate his humour and kindness. In 2014, during Hardy and Riley's engagement, British tabloids speculated about Hardy's closeness with actress Noomi Rapace, his co-star in Child 44 and The Drop. Rumours suggested that they were too cosy, and it was claimed that Hardy and Riley had separated temporarily. There's no direct confirmation of that, but given his propensity for work-based relationships, it raises the possibility that he might have been tempted, although it appears to have come to nothing because he later married Riley in that year. It would appear the infidelity rumours with Noomi Rapace appear to be mainly tabloid-driven speculation, lacking substantiation from credible sources. In a 2010 interview with Now magazine, Hardy candidly discussed experimenting with same-sex relationships in his youth, stating, "I've played with everything and everyone. I love the form and the physicality, but now it doesn't do it for me. I'm done experimenting." This led to speculation about his sexuality, which he later addressed in 2015 at the Toronto Film Festival, calling a reporter's question about his personal life inelegant and humiliating. Teenage experimentation is not uncommon. However, this could denote sexual fluidity, which is a narcissistic indicator. The timeline of his relationships is such that there have been, in essence, 4 main relationships. Sarah Ward, who was married to, Linda Park, which is a brief romance, Rachel Speed, a relatively long-term relationship which produced offspring, and his marriage to Charlotte Riley. There are no substantiated allegations of problematic behaviour in his relationship with Charlotte Riley, and he doesn't appear to have a prolific dating background or history. There are some suggestions of narcissistic indicators as a consequence of his propensity to have work-based romantic entanglements, and there is some suggestion that his involvement with Charlotte Riley came when he was still involved with Ward. But beyond that, we do not see tremendous indicators of infidelity. There's no suggestion of abusive relationships. This may well point to an individual who's very adept at maintaining privacy as a form of control, or it may well be the indicative of an individual who does not engage in abusive behaviours and exhibits emotional empathy. The intimate relationships of Tom Hardy, shedding further light on what he might be. We're next going to look at further issues in relation to his life. Join me in part 5.